intensive farming of animals is a real problem, and it's something that was flagged up back in the 1950s in terms of industrialization of farming. That is an area that I think we have made some steps in, but clearly there are commercial pressures on farmers to minimize their costs and to maximize their outputs, and that is one of the drivers, and that becomes more of a driver when we live in a time where competitiveness is increasingly the driver in our society, and that is can be very counterproductive for animal welfare. The sort of industrialization of animal production tends to lead to animals being kept in very intensive groups in ways that are abnormal for those species, and so you tend to get a lot of increased in signs of behavioral disturbance. Animals are perhaps more aggressive, they're trying to defend their own space, and of course it also is driven by the need to make the human inputs into the situation in terms of manpower, to minimize that, because that costs money. And so we're moving towards a situation in which farming is becoming increasingly industrial, and the number of people involved in it are becoming less and less. And that's one of the major problems, that where we've got a farmer who is maybe in charge of 1,000 cattle. It's almost impossible to recognize all of those animals individually and to recognize that this animal is not behaving in a normal way. There's a lot of work going on in this area, looking at ways in which we can use technology to help us to identify animals which are in distress. But I think we also have to go back and look at the underlying systems. Just identifying animals that are in distress is really only putting a sticking plaster on the problem. What we really need to do is to look at a deeper level and to look to see, well, why are the animals in distress? And should we be doing something about the systems in which they're kept?